Hey everybody, it's Start With Large Lads, and we have a new series for you guys. You guys enjoyed the RTS videos and the strategy, top 10 strategy videos. So we have a new series for you, and it is the Ultimate Strategy Showdown. So we're going to take a bunch of strategy games that we came up with, a bunch of RTS games that we came up with, a bunch of RTS games and strategy games that you guys put in the comments, and we're going to give them a big bracket and have them face off against each other. So that is the new series. And for the very first iteration of this series, we're going to have Europa Universalis 4 versus Hearts of Iron 4. These are two of my favorite games, and I have tons of hours in both, so I feel pretty confident ranking these. Here on the screen, you'll see all of the different criteria that we're judging on, but we're going to break it down more when we get through each section. Hearts of Iron 4 released back in 2016, developed and published by Paradox Interactive. It's available on PC, Mac, OS, and Linux, and is still getting updates and expansions almost a decade later. It's one of those games that's constantly evolving, whether through DLC or endless oceans of community mods that somehow make an already massive game bigger. In Hearts of Iron 4, you take control of a nation during World War II, from the biggest powers to the tiniest miners trying to survive in the chaos. You're managing factories, armies, supply lines, diplomacy, and the global war economy, all while trying not to collapse under your own logistics. The game moves fast, battles are constant, and every front feels like a high-stakes puzzle you have to solve under pressure. It's military grand strategy at its purest form. We've poured hundreds of hours into Hoi 4, both solo and with friends. It's one of those games where quick sessions turn into watching the sun rise as your divisions push through the Alps. Multiplayer is pure chaos, alliances break, plans fail, someone forgets to supply their front line, and the world burns beautifully. It's intense, rewarding, and hilarious. When it all goes wrong, there's just nothing quite like pulling off a perfectly timed invasion with your buddies cheering in Discord. Europa Universalis 4 came out much earlier, in 2013, also made by Paradox Interactive, and is basically a living historical simulation at this point. Available on PC, it's received 10 years of expansions, patches, and reworks, so if you're playing now, you're stepping into one of the most refined and content-rich strategy experiences ever made. EU4 starts in 1444, right as the medieval world begins to shift into the age of exploration and empire. You pick any nation on Earth, and guide it through centuries of diplomacy, trade, colonization, religion, and warfare. You're not just painting the map, you're shaping history itself. Every decision, from a royal marriage to a naval battle halfway across the world, ripples through the next 400 years. It's slower paced than Hoi 4, but every move feels monumental. We've been playing EU4 for years. It's a definition of just one more year kind of game. It's methodical, it's deep, and it's the kind of strategy you sink into for entire weekends. There's something incredibly satisfying about turning a tiny state like Brandenburg or Nepal into global powerhouses. The nostalgia runs deep too. Late nights micromanaging colonies, tense coalition wars, and that moment when your empire finally dominates the map. It's slower than Hoi 4, but way more personal. It feels like your story is written 1 century at a time. The first section we're going to evaluate on is strategic depth. What we're measuring is how meaningful and non-obvious choices exist at any moment. The big question is which game offers more meaningful decisions and layered mechanics. When it comes to strategic depth, the winner is Europa Universalis 4. Europa Universalis 4 simply offers a broader and more layered experience. Hoi 4 shines in the heat of the moment. Managing production lines, commanding armies, and coordinating front lines feels intense and rewarding, but EU4 stretches that complexity across centuries, weaving together diplomacy, trade, religion, colonization, and internal policies into one massive sandbox of decision-making. Every choice ripples through decades of history, and that long-term cause and effect gives EU4 a level of strategic weight that Hoi 4 just can't match. It's not about surviving the next battle, it's about shaping the entire future of your nation. The next category is complexity versus clarity. How approachable are the systems to newcomers? And is the game deep and understandable, or just big and overwhelming? For complexity and clarity, the winner is Hearts of Iron 4. While both games are undeniably deep, Hoi 4 delivers the complexity in a far more approachable way. Its interface is clean, the map is readable, and most mechanics are visual. Production lines, front lines, and divisions all make immediate sense, even to new players. EU4, by contrast, throws a mountain of menus, modifiers, and mechanics at you right from the start, It's brilliant once you understand it, but that first learning curve can be brutal. Hoi 4 isn't perfect. The naval, air, and espionage systems can feel clunky or underdeveloped, but overall, it presents a massive amount of information in a way that's easier to digest and master. You'll still make mistakes, but you'll understand why you made them. And that clarity gives Hoi 4 the edge here. Next is replayability and variety. How fresh each new run or campaign feels. Do factions, maps, and events meaningfully change gameplay? For Category 3, the result is a tie. When it comes to replayability, both Hoi 4 and EU 4 absolutely dominate, but in completely different ways. Hearts of Iron 4 thrives on experimentation. Every playthrough feels different depending on what nation you pick, what focus tree you follow, or how you rewrite the events of World War II. It's that just one more run kind of game, where you always wonder if you could have pulled off a better invasion or held that front line one more month. Europa Universalis 4, on the other hand, is a sandbox of endless possibilities, with over 400 playable nations, dynamic events, and centuries of histories to shape. No two campaigns ever unfold the same. Hoi 4 gives you the thrill of rewriting the past. EU 4 gives you the satisfaction of crafting an alternate history from scratch. In the end, both offer near limitless replayability. It just depends on if you want fast wars or slow empires. Up next is balance and fairness. How well mechanics, AI, and factions are tuned. Which game feels more consistent, polished, and balanced across playstyles? For Category 4, the winner is EU 4. Both games have their quirks and exploits, but EU 4 ultimately feels more balanced and consistent across the board. The systems in EU 4, from warfare and trade to diplomacy and internal stability, are tightly interconnected, and Paradox has spent over a decade fine-tuning them through patches and expansions. Hoi 4, while incredibly fun, can feel swingy at times. AI nations might behave unpredictably, supply issues can spiral out of control, and certain focus trees can lead to wildly uneven experiences. EU 4, by contrast, rewards planning and foresight more reliably. When things go wrong, it's normally your fault, not because the game's mechanics broke under pressure. For pure system balance, EU 4 holds the high ground. Category 5 is AI and challenge design. We're going to measure the intelligence, adaptability, and engagement of the AI. And we're going to figure out which game's AI provides smarter and more engaging opposition. For Category 5, the winner is Europa Universalis 4. When it comes to AI and overall challenge, EU 4 provides a more dynamic and believable opponent. The AI in EU 4 actually thinks in long-term goals, forging alliances, pursuing rivalries, and managing internal politics in a way that feels alive. It'll backstab you at the worst possible times, or suddenly turn into your greatest ally when the situation changes. Hoi 4's AI, while improved over the years, still struggles to handle complex front lines and logistics, especially when wars stretch across multiple continents. It's great at brute force, but not subtlety. EU 4 forces you to think strategically in every direction, militarily, diplomatically, and economically, and that web of potential outcomes keeps even veterans on their toes. Category 6. System design and synergy. How well economic, military, diplomatic, and tech systems interconnect. The winner is EU 4. When it comes to how all the moving parts come together, EU 4 stands out. While Hearts of Iron delivers focused power in wartime production and military campaigns, EU 4's systems feel like pieces of a grand machine that actually fit together. Trade, diplomacy, technology, religion, and war all influence each other, creating meaningful feedback loops. Decisions in one area ripple into effects in others. Hoi 4 systems are fun and distinct, but occasionally feel siloed. In EU 4, everything you do builds towards a long-term narrative and interconnected empire experience. Category 7 is immersion and theme. Does the music, art, and writing all pull you into this world, and which game captures its era and atmosphere better? The winner is Hoi 4. When it comes to immersion, Hoi 4 absolutely nails the atmosphere of global war. Every map, ping, radio, crackle, and marching division reinforces the sense of being a commander steering history in real time. The visuals and music work together to pull you straight into the 1940s. Industrial cities glowing at night, tanks rolling across Europe, and dramatic orchestral scores swelling during invasions. EU4 is rich in detail too, but its top-down diplomacy and slower pace keep you more at a distance. EU4 makes you feel the tension in every direction, from planning a D-Day landing to watching supply lines freeze on the Eastern Front. It's not just strategy, it's chaos and adrenaline of war captured perfectly. Number 8 is user interface and quality of life. Which game looks better? From UI clarity and map readability and art direction. The winner is EU4. When it comes to user interface and overall quality of life, EU4 is clearly ahead. Everything in EU4 is built to give you information fast. Production queues, battlefronts, and unit orders are all visual and intuitive. You can tell exactly what's happening at a glance, which makes managing dozens of fronts surprisingly manageable for such a complex game. EU4, while deep, still suffers from an older UI that can feel buried under layers of tabs and submenus. Even veterans spend time hunting for tooltips or remembering where certain stats are hidden. EU4's streamlined layout and clear feedback loops are far easier to command the chaos. And it's a big reason players can jump right in and start learning. Next is community and mod support. Which game has a stronger mod scene and community innovation? The winner is EU4. Few strategy communities are as active and creative as Hearts of Iron 4. The modding scene is massive, from historical overhauls like Kaiserreich and Road to 56, to completely alternate history conversions that turn the game into something entirely new. EU4's mod tools are easy to work with, and Paradox actively supports that ecosystem, which keeps the game fresh for years after release. EU4 has an impressive modding scene too, but it's slowed a bit over the time, and the engine's age limits what modders can really do. In contrast, EU4 feels endlessly flexible. Whether you want Cold War simulators, a sci-fi empire, or just to see Canada take over the world, the community has already made it happen. It's the kind of game that evolves because fans refuse to let it stop growing. And lastly is legacy and impact. Is the community still thriving years later? Will it still matter 5 or 10 years from now? How strongly the game influences the genre, shapes future titles, or remains relevant over time? The winner is EU4. Few strategy games have left a legacy as deep and lasting as EU4. Over a decade after its release, it's still one of the most played grand strategy titles on PC, a living example of how complexity and depth and player-driven storytelling can stand the test of time. EU4 didn't just define Paradox's identity as a studio, it helped shape an entire genre of historical simulation games. Its influence can be felt in everything from Stellaris to Victoria 3, and its active community continues to push it forward with new mods and strategies even now. EU4 has absolutely earned its place in the modern strategy scene, but EU4 is the blueprint, the game that set the standard for what grand strategy could be. Its mark on the genre is permanent. And the winner is EU4 with a total score of 5-4 and 1 tie. EU4 takes the victory, but only just. It was a really close battle. EU4 brought a lot of intensity. It's a really good game. There's really no losers here. These are two of the best games on the list. I had them face off this early just because they're both Paradox games. I'm going to have most of the Paradox games face off against each other. Let me know what you think in the comments. Did the right game win, or do you guys think EU4 is better? Get ready for the next matchup. It'll be CK3 versus Stellaris. If you're excited for it, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Thanks, guys.